Hey everybody, welcome to Cinematic Portraits, our first painting demonstration. We are going to begin by just taping down our paper and we're going to paint our background. And since this is a class that there may be people that have taken my portraits class, for you, this will be a refresher, and I will also be adding a lot of information that will help you kind of jumpstart your creativity. For people that are not quite familiar with painting, I'm going to try as hard as I can to just oversaturate you with information. So what I'm doing right now is creating a value scale. I put my local color in the middle, white on the top, black at the bottom. And what I'm going to do is start creating a value scale, which means from light to dark. And how I do that is I mix a little bit of the paint that I need until it goes all the way down from light to dark. So a little bit of blue added to the white and then more added, and you're just kind of bringing it down. And I think I'm actually making an additional one because I knew that I was going to need a lot of darker layers for this first part. And so I'm just adding a little bit more. This is a transparent gloss glazing liquid, and it is pretty much the go-to tool for all of my painting classes. And the reason why is because it will add transparency to your paint layers, and transparency really is what helps us create a three-dimensional looking effect. And even though this is just the very first part of the painting process, I'm still adding a little bit because, well, in this painting in particular, I wanted to create a background vignette. First of all, I always want my backgrounds to be covered no matter what. White paper kind of hinders you from seeing colors accurately, especially if you're working with portraits, and you will see the white background. If you paint on a white background, you'll see it and think that your colors are going to be just not as subtle. You'll be creating colors that are a little bit more saturated. So even you can see on my painting palette, I put a gray piece of felt underneath it, and that is just so I can see my colors on my painting palette more accurately as well. So back to what we were doing, I'm creating something called a vignette. And really, I came up with this idea on Canva when I was developing my piece. I knew that by having a vignette, that it would make her face kind of pop out more. And the reason why is because light colors appear to move forward and dark colors appear to move back. So we can use a vignette to kind of have our audience focus on what we want them to focus on. And this is a mop brush. It just kind of blends everything smoothly, and it's not going to be completely perfect because I didn't get to it fast enough. I'm kind of doing it after the fact. Acrylic paint dries very quickly, so even if you let it go for about 30 seconds, you're not going to get a very good blend. But if you keep a blending brush in your opposite hand of your painting hand, and you put the paint in and you blend it right away, then you are going to get a smooth blend. Also, are you noticing that I am not able to apply more layers at the moment? That is because I haven't let the previous layer dry. So if this happens, you're actually going to start pulling paint up, as you can see below. Now, I'm actually using this to my advantage at the moment because I realized that her hands are going to be right there anyhow. So I'm actually, you could either like pull the paint up, but actually the better choice, to be honest with you, would be to just let this dry and then do an additional layer. Okay, so I didn't map anything out. I'm not using a transfer or anything to do this background. I'm just kind of using what feels right based on looking at my reference photo. And it doesn't have to be exact per se. I mean, if you were doing a painting that you wanted to look hyper photorealistic, then you probably would want to do, like, map out where your highlights, midtones, and shadows, even for the background, are going to be. But since this is a very stylistic piece, I am just going to feel it out and do what feels right for me as the artist. And when you start to make human errors as well. And human errors doesn't actually like always mean a bad thing. It's just because we're not like a computer that we're going to make little adjustments that are not accurate to the photo that we've created. But when those little human errors, which obviously are not errors, make a painting unique. And so as you start to develop as an artist, I would say rely less on your transfers and more on your skills. But in the beginning, transfers are kind of necessary if you do not have a lot of drawing experience or experience with learning about perspective. But that should not hinder you from painting. So definitely use tools that are available to make you a better artist. At the end, because I'm using a glass palette, I spray it down with some water, and I use a window razor just to scrape the paint off. And it's just like one of the best tools ever to have a glass palette. Just so easy. And you could also tell that I am using my shop wipes because they leave less fuzz than paper towels. Okay, I will see you in the next video.